Hey, what's up everybody? Greg Eilers here from the Stanislaus County Office of Education, and I wanted to let you know that we got a new Google Classroom kind of interface and a few changes that have been made just in the last couple of days. So as of August 7th, Google released a kind of a refreshed look of Google Classroom. So what I want to do is I want to walk you through a couple of things, a couple of changes just so you're aware, and a couple things that have moved and some things that have gone away. So as you get ready to start the new year, I wanted you to be prepared and ready to go, and also to let your students know of some things that they might see that are a little bit different. But mainly we're going to focus on the teacher end. So here we go. I'm going to be moving my screen around a little bit, so I apologize for that, but just so you guys can see everything, I'm going to be moving that around. So as you can see, here's our Google Classroom dashboard. I'm going to jump into just a demo version, just so you can get an idea of some of the things that have changed. So right off the bat, if you noticed up here, we've got a couple of changes just within our main three tabs. So if you remember, it used to say Stream, Students, and About. Well, that is no longer the case. So we still have the Stream, which is kind of the main place where you assign assignments, create announcements, those types of things. I'll show you some changes there in a second. And then you've got Classwork, which is really convenient. You'll see why here in a bit. And then finally, People. So these are the people that are in your Google Classroom or that are a part of your Google Classroom. So for example, like your co-teachers or people that you are letting administer the class as well. So those are our three new tabs that we've got going in the new Google Classroom. Okay, so pretty much everything is the same on the Stream as far as look goes. You've got your header still, creating announcements. You see I've already created a couple and had some example students reply to those. But I want to show you, when you click the plus symbol, this is one thing that has definitely changed. So now when you click the plus, you no longer get create an announcement, create an assignment, create a question, and reuse a post. The only two things you have the option to do now is create an announcement or reuse a post within the Stream. So be aware of that. So when I click create an announcement, I'll give you an example of what this looks like. I'm still going to send out this announcement to whoever I want. I can differentiate who I want this to go out to. But the one big difference that in announcements that you won't see anymore is you don't have the option to add a topic for an announcement. So those people that got used to using topics to kind of help categorize and tag those different things so it's easier to find when you're looking for them, that is no longer the case with the announcement. You can still do it in assignments, but you cannot tag or create a topic for an announcement. So you've got your big four additions here. Still, nothing has changed there. The way you announce this post is still the same, but I just wanted to let you know there is no topic option here anymore. Okay. So that's one little difference there within the Stream. So if you're like me, you're wondering, well, how do I create an assignment? Because I'm somebody that likes to push out a lot of different things to my students. Well, that's where the Classwork tab comes in. So when I click on Classwork, you'll now see up here, instead of having to go to that blue plus button in the bottom right hand corner, you now have a plus create button here under Classwork. So this is where you're going to create all of your different assignments. So if I click create right now, this is where I'm going to create my assignment. Here's where I can create a question, right? One of those exit ticket questions if you would like, or also reuse a post. There's obviously no announcement feature. You can only do that on the Stream side like we just looked at. And then here's your topic. So you do have the topic option here within your Classwork to tag those different types of things within your Classwork tab. Okay. So I've already kind of done a quick assignment. I've already got one made. So when I click this assignment that's out to my students right now, right off the bat I can see who's turned it in, who's got it assigned, and which one I've graded, right? So assigned meaning they haven't submitted it or turned it in yet. Okay. The nice thing here is it's a little bit easier to get to the assignment to view. So when I clicked assignment and I go to view assignment, I can now go to all of my student work. So it's kind of a quick, just streamlined process to where now I can get in and see what my students are actually doing. I can also see from here who's turned it in, who has not, and which one I have graded. Okay. A couple of things here. If I were to jump into one of my students' assignments, right, one that's turned it in, and I want to take a look at it, some really cool changes have happened once I jump into the actual artifact that my student has submitted. So I'm now within my example student 1's assignment. Okay, from here I can mark this up again if it's a Google app that I have assigned and they're submitting it, so a doc, a slide, a draw, those types of things. I can mark it up and put feedback within here. You'll also notice on the right hand side over here I can also give some pretty cool comments as well within the document. So I can give feedback right away, right within the document, and start that conversation. So once I give that comment back to my students, the students can then reply back as well. So we can have the conversation here instead of kind of in the gradebook area where it used to be. You can still do some of that there, but it's kind of a little bit more convenient for us as educators to put that comment or give that feedback within the actual assignment. Okay, so that is kind of a new little neat feature and very handy for us who really value immediate feedback. The other cool thing is once you get through an assignment, you don't have to go back to Google Classroom. You can actually go to the next student and it actually tells you what the next student is. So you can see if I were to go to the next, I'm going to go to example student 10, right? If I know example student 10 hasn't turned it in, okay, obviously they haven't done anything yet, right? I can then click the drop down and go to the students that have turned it in. So I can jump to example student 13's assignment and get in and grade that thing right from here. Okay. Also, one other nice option is that I can return the assignment right from here. So I don't have to necessarily be in the Google Classroom gradebook to return it. I still can, but right from here I can return this assignment to my student. Okay, so I've got the return button right up here and I can return it to them immediately. Okay, so that's kind of one neat little thing that you have the option of doing now with kind of the refreshed Google Classroom. Notice that when I am in my student work, I can also filter by turned in, assigned, or graded, or view it all at one point. Okay. One other kind of cool little shortcut that they've added is once I've graded the assignment, if I click the three dots or vertical ellipses, I now get a shortcut to return it. So it's Control Option R, or Command Option R, excuse me, to quickly return it. So I don't necessarily have to click the check marks and click return. So if I'm somebody that likes to use shortcuts and that's my workflow, I can quickly click Control or Command Option R and it will return that immediately. So let me go ahead and do that. Maybe not. Oh, there we go. Okay, and it's going to bring up that little window. I can put a private comment from here as well. I'm going to click return and then it's going to send it to that student. Okay, so just wanted to model that for you for those that are wanting to do the shortcut method. Okay, all right. So that's that. I'd mentioned Classwork. That's where you click in the assignments and go in and out of all of those. Let's take a look at people. People is where you're going to obviously invite the ones that you want to be in the classroom. So where do you get that magical code now? Where is that gone? Well, it's in a couple places, but as you can see, there's a little person now that I can invite my co-teachers to. So I can do that by email or by name, and same thing with my students. So if you're somebody that likes to invite students by their name or by email to where they just have to click join when they get to the Google Classroom dashboard, you can do that here. For those of you that like the code method to get your students in the classroom, notice that there is now a little cog or settings wheel up in the top menu bar of Google Classroom. So if I click on that, this is where kind of my settings are going to be. So we used to see some of these on the left hand side of the stream. Well, now this is in a totally separate tab called settings. It's under that little gear now. So I can change the title of my class. This is where I'm going to get my code. So if I want to display it big for my students, I can do so here. Okay. This is where I'm going to set my my parameters as to what I want my students to be able to do within the stream, right? This is where I'm going to turn on show deleted items and have guardian summaries turned on or off, however you want to do that. So I just wanted you to be aware, again, class settings is found underneath this settings gear to where you can find your code, set your parameters for the stream, show deleted items, and guardian summaries. All right. And then finally, the last little thing I want to show you, kind of the main changes in Google Classroom, is now, remember, there's no About tab up here in the top bar. Where you'll find that is over where you select your theme for your header. So if I were to select About, this is all that the About will feature now. You can no longer add class materials to your About section. So apologize to those of you that liked doing that and adding class materials to your About. That is no longer an option. But if you want that back, you know that Google is always listening. So make sure that you use that check mark in the bottom left. Therefore, Google will know that you want that option back. And obviously, they're always listening to us as educators because they want us to continue using their product. But really, the About section, this is all you're going to get. Title and the class code again. So that's another place where you can get that class code, is in the About. Okay, I think that is about it. But again, I wanted you to be aware of some of the new changes within Google Classroom. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, Greg Eilers, geilers@stanco.org, and I'll answer any questions you got. So good luck and have a great school year.